Hey everybody, Sarah and Keith with the Leaders Lyceum back for another weekly Thought Fuel. Boy, it felt good to start that one.
You did good.
Hey, listen, we're going to be talking for the next several weeks about just what people who grow really well vertically do, and how there are certain things that, even though it may not come natural to us, that we can behaviorally apply.
Mm-hmm. So one of these best practices that we've learned from people who just naturally grow vertically quicker than the rest of us, those of us who are a little more normal, is that they are really good at seeing themselves in the midst of a problem as much, if not more, as they see the problem itself.
So that can sound complicated, I suppose, and in some situations where we are in the midst of a really big problem, where there is no one to look at but us, I think it's easier. I think maybe more of us naturally do that. But it's interesting that when we look at people who really grow well, they take some of the most mundane kind of conflicts that they find themselves in. And you know, why don't we just stick with conflicts for a minute? Because you can think about having a conflict with, you know, a spouse or a significant other, or someone that you live with. You know, how often do we look at the problem instead of looking at who we are in the middle of the problem?
Yeah, the problem usually is this person, this thing, this money, an external source versus self-reflection. Is that what you're getting at?
Exactly. Me in the middle of the problem, seeing myself in the middle of the problem. I even think about this if you have children in terms of parenting. And it's interesting, as a parent, you may even have what you believe to be the right answer, and the child may have misbehaved. So we're not saying, well, just don't hold the kid responsible. What we're saying is there is still an opportunity to say, how could I have been different in the middle of this? How can I see myself in the middle of the problem rather than just the problem itself?
Yeah, so anytime you find yourself in a conflict this week, at home, at work, with a friend, just with a situation, stop and think, what's going on with me? How can I be different in this situation? It's back to the question we've shared with them before of kind of, what's the story I want to tell in the midst of this? Who do I want to be in this conflict? And use that to grow yourself vertically in just a tiny little way. And if you learn to develop that habit, you're going to grow a lot faster.
One thing before we close. This does not mean that you don't address the problem.
Right.
It just means that in addition to that, you think about who you're being in the middle of the problem. So good luck this week, and we'll see you next week.
See ya.